All right, we're going. All right, welcome everybody. I'm Stephen Teal, your host of the Northwest Fishing Club podcast. Tonight, I'm back with my co-host, Todd Lund, and tonight we've got a special guest with us, professional fishing guide and president of the Rogue River Guides and Sportsmen Association, Phil Tripp. Phil has grown up in the Northwest. He's been guiding for the last decade between Oregon and Alaska. Before guiding, he and I used to get out pretty much every chance we had. We'd go out, film what we were catching, post it up on YouTube, and had a lot of fun together, then got into guiding. So Phil, thanks for joining us tonight. You get out on the water at all this week?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I did. I just came down from the Umpqua this week here in Southern Oregon. Sorry, I already dropped the name of a river here, but yes, I just moved down.
We don't care, Phil. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
Okay. So I'm just starting my rogue season here this week. And yeah, I had a couple guys out today, and we had to work for them today. I will be honest, and that river's low out there. So you got to be a little bit stealthy when you're chucking at them. But if you know where to pitch, there's a few around. I've been seeing some bankies, some bank anglers do good. I've been talking to some people in some boats and stuff like that. So yeah, there's some around to play with, which is, I mean, that's all we can ask for now, right?
Any word of springers yet?
I haven't heard anything yet. But we do know April 1st is here. So, I mean, I know, Steven, you remember there was a few years when we had some good springer fishing up here all the way in Shady Cove in mid-April, right? So,
I mean, that low water gets them moving upriver fast. You know, that they seem to like that low water, that low warm water, especially from upriver, they got to just move up. They know that they got to get upriver as fast as they can with no water to get to their spawning ground. So they just move as quick as they can. You know, we had good times back. What was it, like 2015, I think, when it was 800 or so CFS out of the dam.
Super low water that year. Yeah. And, I think probably we're steelhead fishing the first one that came about, and then we're like, oh man, we better start targeting a few of these things. And
right.
Sure enough, they were there in bigger numbers than we thought that year. And then we tried again like for the next 5 years, and it wasn't quite the same.
Just that low water, man. I think that's what kind of drove it.
So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we'll start seeing some pictures soon, very soon.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah.
So Phil, I kind of want to get things started off, I guess. You know, you've been guiding for a decade now. So what kind of got you into guiding to start off? You know, were you addicted to fishing? What kind of led into that, you know, wanting to make a living from fishing?
Yeah, I never, until I'd say I was about 20, I never really had any hopes or dreams to be a guide. I was, like you said, I was addicted to fishing. I grew up in a small town in Northern California called Soames Bar, right on the Salmon River. And there was nothing else to do but fish for me. So, you know, I carried around a ugly stick and a blue fox or a panther martin on the Klamath and the salmon my whole childhood. So, and then I moved to Oregon when I was about 19. Me and my fiance Savannah had a 1-year-old at the time. Well, probably when I was about 20, we had Linnea, my daughter, and then I was fishing. That's what I met you shortly after that, and I was fishing so much that I started to feel her kind of start to be a little bit bothered by it, you know. And then I met a guy on the river, and he's kind of talked me into getting my guide license, you know. And I never really had any hopes or dreams to be a guide. I love to fish, you know, growing up down there in that remote area where all I had was a river to play with. But yeah, so I met a guide on the Rogue, and it was back then, 2010. It was real easy to get a guide license, just a square sticker guide license. I think it was $50 a year back then, wasn't it?
Probably wasn't much more than that if it was.
Yeah, I think it was $50 a year and some, you know, first aid, CPR and stuff. So, and then I just kind of started growing with it, you know, and just, I mean, with some help from you, Steven, I think you set up my first website, which is just a Google blog, and, you know, just kind of just worked with it and learned it. And then here we are today. And now I'm as busy as I want to be, really, you know, so.
That's awesome, man. Especially in a decade, work yourself in to be able to go out and fish every day for a living.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of help along the way, though, man. I haven't done it all on my own. That's for sure. I've had a lot of help from other guides and very loyal customers who stayed with me when they showed up to the boat ramp. And there's this 20-year-old kid. They're like, "Oh, I was expecting somebody a little older." So yeah, I appreciate everyone who's helped me along the way for sure. So I've had a lot of help. So
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Yes.
So do you probably just stick to steelhead and salmon, Phil?
I do, yeah.
Through the season now?
I do. There's some days when I'm super fired up when we land that trout, Todd. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, I hear you. Something that wiggled on the end. Hey, I've even lowered my standards to squawfish. I mean, that's something to wiggle on the other end of the rod, right?
Yeah. So, but yes, I'm primarily targeting the big ones, but usually if we go about 4 hours in without a big one, I'd say go ahead and jerk on that trout. But yeah, so yeah, just salmon, steelhead, and I bounce around all over. So when I first started guiding, no one told me I'd be living out of a travel trailer for 6 months a year chasing these darn things. So, but that's what I do. I go down to the lower rogue, upper rogue. Able to fish out of my house when I'm on the upper rogue, and then I go north a little ways, just a little too far to drive home every night. So I'm living out of the travel trailer, chasing these things around, but in a pretty, small radius, within 3-4 hours at the farthest, for anything. So
do you have a specific time? I mean, do you have it on your calendar like I do where come April 1st, you're here? I mean, do you have specific dates of when you are at that fishery, or does one kind of just run into another now?
The seasons definitely run into each other, but yeah, I try to put myself, and some of my clients might argue with me, but I put myself where the best. I try to put myself where the best fishing is, right?
Right.
So I mean, yeah. So I pretty much, hey, if someone calls me for August, I tell them I'm going to be in Gold Beach, guys. Going to be in Gold Beach. So if they say, well, we're staying in Medford, then I call someone who I trust for them to go with that maybe is fishing in Medford that, during that time of year. But yeah. So, but yeah, it could be a scheduling nightmare sometimes too, I mean, doing all that. I mean, so.
Well, the phone calls, I mean, and that's, your circle. I mean, people don't understand, I mean, that's when they book with you and you send them with me, it's a represent, I'm representing you. I'm not representing myself at that time. Sure. And so, the trust level of, are you going to be safe? Are you, not that we always catch fish, but you got to catch one every now and again, right? Otherwise need a different profession. Not that success is in my gill bag. But that trust is really, I mean, shoot, all the guys that I work with, I mean, we fished together a lot before it was, you got to get to know these guys. I mean, it's the make sure, because if you don't show up, you're going to ruin somebody's vacation.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's the farthest somebody's came to fish with you? I mean, it's a long ways at times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Overseas. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you look at how much money they spent to get here and to not show up or be late or, I mean, things happen. Yeah. That's why I keep my drift boat ready all the time, is you never know when you get that call at 4:30 in the morning. Hey, I'm in a jam. Can you help me out?
Can you help me out? Yep.
And so, but yeah, it's definitely, I see a lot of things changing through, I never did get into the traveling side. I pretty much stayed when I was rowing. I pretty much stayed on the road. That's where I,
man.
Well, I traveled so much growing up that, working that I'm just over that part of my working career. And so, the traveling gets, and now, I'm right back at it. I'm getting ready to leave April 20th and I won't be home till September 5th. And so,
exactly.
Just go grind it out. Grind it out, be tired every day, and then come home and enjoy what you work so hard for,
Yeah, exactly. You gotta appreciate those good days out there, man. I know sometimes I have to remind myself, I mean, it's like when I'm just driving to the river, I'm like, man, I got it pretty good, to be able to run a successful guide business, and be able to go to work where I go to work. It's pretty neat. I mean, just like any job, you have your struggles and your tough days, but it's fun. Other than the travel, the travel time's big.
Yeah.
Big. No matter what, like you said, I mean, look at you, you're getting ready to be gone forever too.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that pressure every day, Colby? I mean, or not Colby, sorry, Phil. You've been out there literally pretty much 10 years now. You still feel that pressure every day when you're going guiding and taking new people out fishing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially the new people. I hate to say that, but
he said it. He said it out loud.
I know. I said it out loud. I always joke with my guys. I was like, the longer you fish with me, the worse I treat you. I don't know.
Oh, at 2 o'clock, Todd.
I told my kids. I told my daughter that I was like, that's no way to run a business, hon. But yeah. So I do feel the pressure. I want to catch them every day. Absolutely. I don't want to get skunked. Nope. Don't want it. Don't want it. No matter who I have in my boat. So, but I really believe no matter how good or bad the fishing is that day, I really just believe in teaching my guys or gals the habits that I like them to learn. And then that way, no matter how the fishing is, and especially when the fishing's tough, it's really hard to, learn those habits, but it helps when you get 5 or 6, 7 bites a piece. But I feel like if I train my guys or gals and I'm, patient, nice, have fun, because you have to remember that, I mean, most of the people are out to get away from their everyday life. They don't want to get chewed out all day, so, and I feel like if I train them right, that we have a good chance of catching fish, whether it's this time or the next time that they come. I feel like most of the people that leave my boat, however we did, usually like to come back. So
yeah, for sure. When I was, I mean, still to this day, what I tell them is, we're going to focus on if we don't catch any fish today, at least we're going to focus on the basics to where next time you get in the boat, we're going to expand on that knowledge. And, back bouncing, really tough for a new person. It's, some people pick it right up and they have it. Other people, they just get frustrated. And so, that's why I run as many rods. They're like, well, how are we going to fish? I don't know yet, but I'm going to find a technique that you're proficient in. And then I'm going to exploit that technique. Literally that is the reality of it. There's, do you ever go out? I mean, I think you do. It's just like me. You have your plan, but you don't really get it to have an agenda. You know what I mean? You just, that's how I feel anyway. Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, some days as I go farther along in my career, I stopped second guessing myself as much.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have more confidence in my ability. But sometimes, sometimes if you go to the boat ramp and there's 10 boats there, yeah, absolutely. You might, call the shuttle guy. Yeah, a little change of plans here, but yes, I mean, I teach my guys I say, hey, don't worry about the other guys in the other boats. Yeah. If we can get dialed in and we can get trained right, we can maybe outfish them, right? So, yeah, yep. So just training my guys, having fun. I mean, you can't. I mean, there's days out there that are going to be tough every season. It doesn't matter water levels. We've had extreme low water this year, but there's going to be days out there fishing. If you do it as much as I do, that you're gonna have some struggle days, and the guys here.
That's the difference of guiding every day or guiding as part-time is we don't get the luxury of only fishing when it's good. We're fishing. And I tell all my guys, I said, you don't have to worry until I start pointing out birds. When I start pointing out birds, we're not catching any fish that day. That's just, if you see me feed a bald eagle, it's over. Just know, drink a beer, relax, and have a good time. And then they reflect back on
it's whistling.
Previous trips.
If I start whistling, then it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all have our things. We see the very best days and the very worst days, right? But
Right.
if you could just show everybody a good time, because that's what we're all here for. We're out here to enjoy the resource, and those days when it feels easy, those are the fun ones.
Right.
This in general, this 22 season for winter steelhead has been pretty tough. With the low water that we had real good weather in the fall, and the fishing was pretty good in early January after everything came into shape. And then it just kind of fell on its face a little bit. So, you're gonna deal with everything, man.
Yeah.
The good and the bad, So.
Well, and we can only go off the averages. What across your, I would assume you're getting ready to wind it up. Your winter your winter season. What was the average fish of this? Because that's all we can go off of is the average fish that we caught through the season. Because you really can't pinpoint one day to the next because there's so many variables, right?
Yeah. And this year in particular, it's real tough to come down with the average. But yeah, that early part of January is real good after we had that water, and then it turned into, me and Steven were talking. It was like 40 days with no rain, so there's not big wads of new fish coming in. So those smaller wads of of fish are getting caught. Whether it's down at this boat ramp or in that so it was a struggle. There was plenty of days, and then all of a sudden you'd come out and land 5, but you can't catch them on the couch is what I tell people. So you got to go no matter what. I had so many calls this year. Those, hey, is there any water? Is there any fish? It was just, it's a constant hunt, really. Always, especially in the winter, because it's so weather related,
Right.
So weather related.
It's sad that the last, before I quit rowing, the last season, I just got to a point to where I just told my guys the days that you're calling me for will never be again. They are, but it's a day here. If you get 1 or 2 of those days a season, and that's when the stars line up and the harvest moon's in the, in the right position. It's those days are just, our numbers are getting lower and lower every. Last year was a really tough year for lake trout. We still had a great season, caught a lot of fish, but compared to the previous years, things changed a little bit. The lake didn't turn over fully and, made it tough at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
But it definitely retraining your guys to understand what we're out there for, because everybody wants to know, do you guarantee fish? And I hate that question. I hate it when people ask me that. And I have a standard answer. It's like I'm going to give you opportunities, and what you do with those opportunities are going to be completely up to you, that I don't have any control over.
Right.
That's why we don't guarantee fish, is because at some point it's going to be all up to you to make this happen.
Yeah.
But if you don't, we're going to high five, we're going to woohoo, and we got close, and we're one step closer to achieving success. I don't ever focus on that being a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When my guys say, hey, do you guarantee fish? I say, do you guarantee a good cast? Hey, here we go. Come on, let's do this. I need you. I can't do it without you. You can't do it without me, guys. Let's do it. So, but yeah, this comes down to just training them right. Hey, I know that if they're there, if your guys are trained right as a guide, if your guys are trained right, you can go out there and have a good chance at least. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all you could ask for.
Yep.
Absolutely. What was your biggest steelhead this season?
Oh, geez, this season, man, I think probably on the umpire, I got one just under 20, I think. Yeah. But last year we all seen quite a few more big fish, but not as many numbers.
Right.
This year we seen, especially early, some more numbers of those, those 2-year-old steelhead. Last year we weren't seeing a lot of those. But yeah, so my biggest one this year was probably just shy of 20. Last year I got one just shy of 23 pounds.
Jeez.
Damn.
That's a beautiful fish. Got
lucky. I don't know how we landed that thing. It drug us all over. It spent half of our day for fighting it. But yeah. Any one that I get to the net, though, is a good one.
Is a good one. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
For sure.
They're all good. They're all good.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
so
Phil,
it's been a fun season. It's been a fun season. I've had a lot of good guys with me. Repeat
Right on.
guys come with me every year, in the winter, and it's a really fun time of year. Just the style, side drifting. If it gets low, we throw some bobbers here and there. But
Right.
it's been a challenge this winter for sure. I mean, I've learned a lot this winter because I've seen a lot of places, that were lower water than I've ever fished. I've seen some rocks that I've never seen before this year. I've hit some rocks that I've never seen before this year.
I heard a rumor. Did you get a new boat?
I did get a new boat, a new drift boat, drift boat. Yeah, last year.
Right on.
It's just barely a year old.
Nice.
Good year to break it in with low water. Get a nice few scratches on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this upper rogue will break it in pretty quick here this season, especially low up there. It's pretty sporty out there, Steven.
You're going to be going from Casey down?
Running
the island area there?
I haven't mustered up the courage for that one yet. But yeah, if we get maybe a little bit of rain though. But yeah, I was gonna maybe go put in tomorrow up at up just above Shady Cove there, but go see how it is. But man, yeah, it's so low up there. It's so low, even down here down here in town, and around the Tuville area, it's low. But I did see this last fall, I talked about how the weather was, and we got some water, some up and down in the water levels, and a lot of stuff changed this year too. So, I mean, if you boated out there last season, you might, check the water levels before you go flying down there this year, because it's low.
Dude, I went to Bend the other weekend and going just downriver from the cafe hole there. Yeah. Dude, I don't think you can do it. Even if you run that far right channel, no matter, you're getting out of your boat, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Now, Phil, I've watched
the little island below Casey's the same way too. I mean, it's a little bony in there, and this boat that I have now is 6 inches wider than my last one.
Did you get an 1860?
I got a 1760.
1760, yeah.
Really nice. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Right on.
That's what I used to run when I was guiding. It's a sweet little boat.
That's
what that blue one you had was a 1760, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, really nice boats. Yeah.
Now, Phil, I've watched you. I mean, back when you started, you were pretty much an upper row guide. And now these last couple of years, it seems like you've gone down to Gold Beach, Agnes. Is there a reason why you've kind of transitioned your summer from going on the upper rogue down to that lower river?
Yeah, it gave me, so when I first started guiding up here, I was also fighting wildland fire a little bit. My first probably 3 years, I'd say. And then I got my Coast Guard license. Okay, because I kind of decided, I actually was even on with Jackson County Fire District 3 in my probationary for a little bit. And then I also got a job offer in Alaska. So I kind of had to, decide whether I wanted to do fire or do fishing. And so I chose the fishing, and then that job in Alaska required a Coast Guard license. So I got that. And then ever since I got that Coast Guard license, compared to when I was just an upper road guide, because the square sticker, that's all I could do. That's really all I could do was the unnavigable waterways. Right now I could do the inland waterways. I can't do the ocean or anything like that. I just fish the inland. But
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that Coast Guard license, man, it really, and it gained me respect with my peers, with other guides. And, I started getting hired by other guides a little more when I had that Coast Guard license, because I could, fish anywhere. But I also had to be a nice guy on the river too, to get sub work, because a lot of those first years were, my Alaska job, and then I got a job in the Rogue River Canyon. But a lot of it was sub work, as I was building my business. So that's when I transitioned from upper rogue to everywhere, was after I got my Coast Guard, for sure. It just broadened my horizon as far as that. And if you're going to full-time guide, you have to have it, period. Have to. I mean, unless you have this epic group of clients who just fishes in Medford all the time.
Right. Gotcha.
Hey.
So looking back now, Phil, the people that you surround to help you out with through your guide service, how many are square sticker and how many, I only hire Coast Guard licensed captains because it shows a level of commitment that I appreciate.
Yes.
Those guys are serious about their craft and go getters, right? So for me personally, I really only focus on Coast Guard licensed captains. Do you do the
Correct.
same, or
Yeah, so I mean, all the guys who I hang out with, I'm pretty sure I was probably the last one to get the Coast Guard license out all them. So yeah, they all have oval stickers.
Yeah.
They have, and a lot of them gave me the nuts to go get it, so
Right.
yeah.
Now there's a couple of young kids coming up that, we all keep our eyes on,
Absolutely.
that are trying to make their way, and, cause you want to give everybody a shot.
Yep.
But definitely, when it comes to that full time, you got to next level it. Otherwise,
Yeah. And you got to start somewhere too,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to become a fishing guide tomorrow and run right down to Gold Beach, I mean, you gotta start somewhere. So that's where I started on the Upper Rogue. Yeah, I love that river, man. I love the Rogue. I've made a living on it, I hope that this group and, all of us fishermen can keep it good and keep it great.
I think we can. We're starting the conversation. That's where it all starts. Is that conversation of, and granted, you're talking to the guy that anchored up in Glass House for 3 days and didn't move. Let all the boats pass me glaring. But I didn't know. I'd never had a drift boat in the river with rotation holes. I never even knew that was a thing. And so everybody passed me, glared, come in behind me, and they're like, hey, get here earlier. I'm fishing. And so it wasn't until I want to say half a year later, I had a client in the boat. And, he's like, yeah, that's a rotation hole. When they pull in behind you, you're supposed to, if you're anchored, it's polite to pick up anchor and fish through and hook the eddy back up, and you take turns. Yeah. Dude, I felt about that big. And now everybody's my friends. I'm like, why would you do that to me? You could have said, hey, Todd, let's get it moving, and we'll talk later at the boat ramp. But like, come on.
Hey, a lot of rivers are like that, though. If you get there first, you anchor down, that's your spot. But the Upper Road, it's everyone gets a chance, right?
Yeah. And so, which works good. Everybody gets to fish, together. You're not just, because there's only so many holes that we're all fishing. And so if you don't fish together, it makes it really tough to get a day. In a section of river, you'll get 3 holes, where you need to fish, all of them to be productive, really.
Correct. Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah, it's nice that in Southern Oregon, such a small guide community. I mean, we all know each other. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Even the new guys. I mean, everyone knows each other, especially with social media and stuff going on now. So I mean, you don't want to make any enemies out there, and just being polite on the river. Like, I got my Alaskan job from another guide who I didn't know. I didn't even know him, and he called me, and he's like, good friend of mine now. I mean, great friend of mine. He called me. He's like, hey, I seen you on the river the other day, and you let me have a pass first. He's like, I've never seen that out of a young, new fishing guide before.
Right.
He's like, so I don't know you, but do you want a job in Alaska? And that's really how my guiding career started, was from this guide, And then, so anytime I ever piss anybody else off, I say, well, you talk to him. He brought me into this industry.
So how many years did you spend up there?
In Alaska?
Yeah.
Probably, well, it was just in the summer. So I'd go July 1st to September 1st. Okay. And that was from probably for 3, maybe 4 summers is what I did.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. And then it got to the point, and my business was growing, and it got to the point where I got that, I think the second year when I was in Alaska, I got that canyon job in the Rogue Canyon. So I'd get home on September 1st from Alaska. And then on the 3rd of September, I'd go into the canyon. And my poor wife, so that was kind of my goal. I had to do it. I couldn't turn down any work at all. I mean,
No.
as I was young, so thanks to her for sticking with me through that. I mean, yeah, she's been my rock through this whole thing, and especially having a young family. So, but I knew that I wasn't going to do that forever. And I'm one of the fortunate ones to where, with good customers and good website and stuff, I've been able to just kind of do my own thing now. I still do sub work, and I still hire other guides and stuff, and we do group trips and stuff like that because we don't have giant boats. But it's nice to be able to have that freedom and have good clientele worked up now 10 years later. And yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, no, the 5 years for me as well. I can remember the day I stood in my boat and I was never, to where I could run my own program. I still work for other people, to, like you said, I mean, we all help each other out on the big groups and all that, but it was that 5 years of, you did not pass up any work, and you were taking everything, so it was nice that day where I just looked around and thought, all right, now we can focus on the next, I'm not scared anymore. Because, starting that beginning of the year, man, I remember when I first started, it was, what am I going to do? I'm literally looking at 8 bookings on my calendar. And, I mean, it's just, and you hope they come in, and you hope guides are calling you, and, it's pins and needles, man. And it's,
yeah, absolutely.
And so,
any guide, there's a time when you're starting out where you're like, oh man, I got to figure something out, or hopefully this goes, so.
Right. And, for you personally, how long did it take you to get to understand what your self-worth was? When you're starting out, we all did it, $100 seats, $200 half days that ran 7 hours, how long did it take you to find your self-worth of, this is who I am, this is how good I am, and this is what my rates are, when you had the security of knowing, this is what I charge and I'm worth it. How long did it take you to get to that level?
I mean, to be honest with you, I've had my sticker for 11 years. I've been making a living at it, Todd, for probably 7. And good. I mean, really recently, I mean, just surrounding yourself with the right people is big. And having other people reassure you that you are worth it, that to charge that. So, I mean, pretty recently, to be honest with you, I've had my sticker for 11 years, and probably within the last 4 or 5 years, I've really, I feel like, because it takes so much time, I mean, to learn everything, to learn every stretch at different water levels and stuff like that. So I'd say, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, and my guys too, they don't question it. And I feel confident, and they feel confident, and they know they're going to have a fun time with me. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like it took me a little bit, probably longer than maybe most, but yeah, I mean, definitely like last probably 3 years, 4 years, I feel like I'm dialed in enough to really, because I mean, but even still today, like you said, it's like, man, where do I go today? You just always think, especially in the winter, man, when stuff's changing, and then like you forget. I heard another guy say this years ago, but you forget every season, you forget more than what you forget what you did last year, so it's a constant battle of figuring stuff out, but it's fun. It's a challenge. It keeps it entertaining anyways. So.
Yeah, for sure. It breaks up the monotony of it. You can't get stuck in that rut. Yeah. I feel, you don't just, I've always said the morning I wake up and think, I can't believe I've got to get up and go work, that's the day that I retire. Because at that point, you're not going to give your guest the day that they're paying for. It's a lot like, my rowing, my wrist. I can do it. I could go row a boat for a day here and there and be just fine, but I can't do it to the level of which you're paying for. I still have clients that love they just, I mean, because over the years you become friends. I got guests that come and stay in my house to go fishing with me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, I mean, they just want to go fishing with you, and so, I still work as hard as I can, but, within the limitations of, everything that I deal with, the river's just it's just not a good environment for me to be in and day out anymore. So, thank God I had the power boat, because you've had yours, how many years now? Are you going on your fourth season or third season with your power boat?
Yeah, I think my fourth. Yep. Fourth. Yep. So, but yeah, and that's nice. That's nice to have that, man. It's a little more cozy than the drift boat down in the bay, I'll tell you.
How was that? I remember when I took my power boat down to Gold Beach, and Josh Terry, I'm coming out of the marina, and he must have seen that I was kind of hesitating a little bit, and he sends me a text. He goes, "Dude, get right in there, and when you hook a fish, pitch it sideways and you'll do just fine." So
yeah,
it was like, I just put up the blinders and all right, good. But it was, as well, like you, I've had guys, mentors and friends that just that short text from Josh that day. And I didn't, I mean, I know Josh, but I mean, it's not like, I know him very well.
Sure, yeah.
But it's a small community, and just him giving me that okay to do that gave me all the confidence in the world. And we went in there and hook and fish, but had he not sent me that text, I probably would have bobbled out on I mean, it's pretty intimidating down there if you running your own boat. It's tight quarters.
It is tight. It is tight.
And so, but you run even farther upriver with your permit. You can go up to what point?
So I run from Watson Creek to Lobster Creek is where my permit is on the lower road.
Okay, and where are those at? As far as is that you fish up to Agnes or Cougar Lane? I mean,
a little bit above there. So probably like but I don't usually, because there's a couple rapids up there that I usually go from Agnes down is what I do.
Gotcha.
And then Lobster Creek is probably maybe 10 miles north east of Gold Beach, so upriver from Gold Beach. So
okay,
it's a whole section, and really, honestly, in that section, I just spend maybe all my time in probably a 10-mile stretch, and it's probably a 30-mile stretch. But I spend most of my time in a certain area, but it's so nice down there, and you have to have a permit to fish it. The fishing can be spotty down there. You don't have to worry about the river blowing out, obviously, in the summertime, which is nice. But especially with these drought seasons that we've had, sometimes those fish don't even want to come up that river to us. So
right. So you get multiple days of hammering them when they're just laying back.
Yep. Hey, if they're swimming through there, we get them. But there's options too. You can, if they're not quite going up the river like you want them to yet, you can just go back down to the estuary and get them down there. Hopefully.
Right. Are you side drifting? Are you side drifting up there for them, or how you fishing, targeting those fish up there?
Mostly side drifting. Yep.
4 guys or
4 or 5 sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
My boat, it's just a 21 footer, so I can do 5. It's a little tight, but
right.
But mostly, 3-4 people trips.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really nice up there. Super nice, beautiful. So nice up there. Love it. Yeah. So.
How's the is there any steelhead? Do you ever get into many steelhead down there at all, or they come in later in the season with those salmon? Or
yeah, they come in all through the whole season. I'm only there my permit's only 43 days. So, and I probably fish about that down there. But we catch the summer steelhead. It's mostly salmon, that we're catching, but yes, right. we do catch summer steelhead in between down there.
Yeah. So are your days actual days? Unlike mine, my days are actual seats. You have 43 actual days? Is that what you get there?
Correct. Yeah. No matter who I got in my boat, I have to mark down how many people,
right,
what I charge, blah blah, and then they take X amount, like 3.5% out of my gross income for that season.
Right.
Is what I have to pay. But it's where, people get out of my boat down there and they want the next day. They want the next year, the same day as next year. I'm already booked for it. it's just, I mean, people just love it. No matter how the fishing is, they just love it down there because it's so nice.
That is, with Steven's help, like we talked earlier, my boat's booked out for as many years as I have very little openings. They're like season tickets. And I tell all my guys, once you have a day on my boat, that is your day. Those guys fish with me those days every year without question. I call everybody up in January. Everybody pays their deposits. It's just, I'm very fortunate to be on that clockwork of, it's those days will never come open until they do not want them anymore, And so it makes it nice because I get charged the same thing, and a lot of people don't realize how structured those permits are, they don't we all get the calls, it's fishing. Will you fish me for free? Right. I mean, I'll say it out loud. And
absolutely.
And they don't realize that, I would love to. And it's not really so much that I don't want to, but those days are so limited that window to make our money with the restrictions that we have are so limited that it's a big deal. People, it is a big deal. And so I tell everybody, hey, I don't offer it all the time, but when I do, I strongly encourage you to take me up on it. Rick's Boat Repair just did me a solid on my boat here. It's like, dude, pick a day. I'll, come up, because that's how you can pay it forward everybody's so busy. Right. And I needed it done right now. And so, but that's the hard part. I like telling people no, especially family, go experience a fishery of a lifetime. It's pretty awesome stuff what we get to do every day, but it's that window and the restrictions.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming at times,
It can for sure. Yep. I agree.
So is there any chance, will they ever let you up your days on that permit if you're using all of them, or is there a process for that?
There is. There's a pool where you can get more days. You can get more days to that. If you're showing a track record of actually fishing up there and you're using, X amount of days every year and stuff like that, because that's what they care about down there. That's the Rogue Siskiyou National Forest down there. And my clients who come down there, I let them know that, that they're there. I mean, that with that permit, they want you to do a certain, we're showing people that area, and, we got to, inform them on that area, and they'll check. I mean, the Forest Service will stop us sometimes and, interview you guys. Hey, where's where you're at?
Right. They do the same thing for us. They're constantly monitoring to make sure we have all the literature that we have to carry, equal opportunity stuff, There's just, man, when I filled out my prospectus, that paperwork, I think I gave up 3 times. I'm like, forget it. I'm done. I'm over it. And then I put my nose back into it and do it again, and I'm glad I did it now, but they don't make it easy on it. They are really hard to get.
Yep. So, and that adds to your value as a guide too. You got these special permits and stuff like that. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, it's a neat place that not everyone can fish, and anymore that's a win in itself, being somewhere where there's not a lot of people.
Right. And it's easier to build a working relationship with 9 people than it is 35. You know what I mean?
That Rogue River permit, Phil, is that something that's pretty limited, or is it something that they'll give out to most guys that apply for it?
No, you do have to. So it's a lower river business, is what it is. I don't like you to really call it a permit. So it's you have to, but you have to buy it from someone who's willing to sell one, or someone who's retiring and willing to sell one. So, and then you have.
So there's no new ones coming out then.
There's no new ones being issued that I know of. There's none. Yeah. So you have to, know some people. I mean, I couldn't have got that permit either without knowing the right person who told me, encouraged me to do it for one. And then, just through the grapevine heard of someone who was selling one and lucked out, so, and it's a nice permit to have for sure. Just for options, there's lots of options in Southern Oregon. It gives me just another option pretty much. So.
Yeah. How do you separate yourself from every other guy? I mean, that's literally what what you strive for to set yourself apart. With all of our credentials, with all of our permits, it's offering something that nobody else, that it's only a small group can, and capitalizing on that.
Yep, I agree. But hey, some of my very favorite days are when I'm right in the middle of every guide in Southern Oregon and we're all fishing, having fun, right? So those are fun too. But and that's just a reality of it. There's no secrets anymore, really. I mean, you just gotta go fishing, and it comes down to training your guys right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my motto, man. That's it. So
yeah, if you can't catch fish behind another boat, don't go.
good luck.
Because I don't know any place I've ever been not been behind a boat.
Yeah.
I mean, I drug one of your guys' baits halfway down Salmon Alley before, and they still didn't get a fish. I mean, what more could I have done, Phil, that day for your guy?
Exactly. I remember that was one of the earlier days that I think that was the second time I met you. I think the first time you were anchored in that hole, and then the second time you went by me and you turned sideways and your motor caught my line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Hey, but that's good. All good memories, I wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun.
Well, it's tight quarters in there. I mean, it's the and when that boil catches you, it just got you. I mean, it's just you're just kind of at its mercy.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's fun.
So
always fun. But yeah, I think just a little bit later, maybe even that same day, you told me you had that permit up there, and you were kind of in the beginning process of that.
Yeah, that was right at the beginning of getting that Odell permit. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
And so, what's the Coho fishery like? Been down river? Do you see those when you're down there?
Oh yeah, but once they get into the road, they stop biting.
We used to catch them back in the day up on the upper river, pretty good. Running plugs for Steelhead.
We did catch them, yeah, we did. But yeah, I swear, man, it's like I see all these videos on YouTube these days. Everyone just catching these silvers, just no problem. And then when I'm casting for them, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. But I will say that the Rogue Bay this year had some good silvers in it, and I don't know if they're strays. The hatchery up here did get a decent amount of cohos compared to last year, but we were catching them down there, and then later on in Agnes we were catching them. Up there we twitch jigs for them and spinners and stuff, like throw spinners and throw bait and stuff. But yeah, I mean, they're just another fish that's out there for us to play with. So
right,
we love those silvers.
Yeah. Do you see many hatchery fish on the silvers?
In the Rogue Bay, I seen more than I did upriver in Agnes. I seen more for whatever reason.
Right.
Not saying that,
whether they're just coming in, getting food, and going back out, or what. But right.
Correct. Yeah, maybe from other rivers or whatever. But we did see up in Agnes later on. Towards October, we seen some hatchery fish up there too. So I know some of those were those we were just intercepting. Some of those that were going up to the hatchery on the Rogue. So. But yeah, those cohos are good. So probably like after that first week of October, that's what we're targeting, those coho and silvers. So that's how we make a living down there.
Right. Gotcha.
So,
well, where do you see after this season, and this is not a loaded question by any means, but just kind of in general, where do you see the fisheries? Where do you see this heading? Or do you think it's heading in the direction of Washington of low numbers, low water, no fishing? Or do you think there's a little bit of give and take on all sides to help mitigate that action? Because that's what one of my big fears is they're that, closing the whole river system down, for a lot of the right reasons, but for a lot of the wrong reasons as well, what do you think as guides can we do better to maybe stop that kind of thing from happening?
Yeah. So I just think not so much as guides, but as sportsmen in a whole, it seems like, I mean, so to answer your first question, since I started, me personally, I've seen the runs decline. We've had some extreme weather years since I started guiding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen those runs, decline. But I think if we come together it seems like fishermen, there's bait fishermen, there's fly fishermen, there's lots of subgroups of fishermen with different beliefs and ideas. And I think not so much just guides, but if we can all come together as a group of people who care, about fishing and who are interested in fishing in the river and stuff like that, we could get stuff done more than, because like you said, everyone has something to say, but if we could just all, instead of these little subgroups, if we could all just be a big enough group anyways to cohesive group, I feel like we can get these fisheries back and at least help them if they are declining, because a lot of it's science and stuff like that you need to get anything done. But if we can like I said, be a cohesive group, I feel like we can be a little more, we could be a bigger part of our fisheries anyways. Because
Right.
even me as a guide, I feel like, I don't have a say in what happens on the road at all.
No.
Really.
And you should. You're out there every single day. You see more of what's going on the river than just about anybody else. You and the other guides that are out there every single day see, you see the amount of reds. You know how many fish are catching every day. You should be an important part of that process of, hey, talking to the biologist. This is what I'm seeing. This is the data. How do we take this information and make things better from that?
Right. And that's a lot of like sportsmen, can be frustrated sometimes of what maybe the science part of it says. And a guy like me who's out there every day, reads the science part of it and it's like, well, that's not what's happening. Right. So I do think that the anglers, the people who are spending that time on the river, and that's all of us. Right. So if we can come together, we know what's going on. It's pretty common sense to see what's going on out there if you fish every day like I do, and a lot of guides do. There's lots of us out there anymore. So but yeah,
you recently took over the Rogue Guides and Sportsmen's Association. That was kind of dormant for a while, right? The old guys had been running it, and then it kind of seemed to kind of disappear. And now I believe you and Shane Blair have basically been voted in as president and vice president. So as that Guides Association, what are you guys trying to work on? Are you guys, what are you doing with that?
Yeah, so we've got, last year we both got voted in for president and vice president. To be honest with you, we still need a lot of help. To be brutally honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out everything out with the nonprofit and all that. We really want to be relevant this year, so expect seeing some things from us this year. I just talked to Shane tonight. We're gonna be getting some small projects done. We want to tackle a few small projects first, okay, and then until we go right to Salem or something like that, we want to get people. We need people. We need support. We need ideas. We need help. So any suggestions or anything like that, I'm all ears. So we're all just trying to work together. We do have we've got our board set up pretty good now, so we're excited about that. But yeah, so from here to the end of the year, you'll be seeing some more stuff, some few projects we got in mind for the middle of this year. So.
And you and Shane are super busy. You guys are running full-time guide services and trying to run the Guides Association at the same time. So what can somebody like myself or just an average angler here in Southern Oregon, what can we do to help you guys out? What can we do to support you?
Yeah, just reach out, call me, light a fire under my ass. Tell me how you're feeling. I had a guy text me last night and, said a few things and I love all the encouragement or any, advice I can get to get this thing going. Cause we really just my hopes and dreams are that we could just be this big cohesive group to where we could actually get some stuff done for our fisheries if things need to be done. Okay. And since last year, I'll be honest, I haven't been, exactly a go-getter on getting the guides association stuff going. But yeah, like you said, I got a family and stuff like that. A lot of stuff going on, but there's always time. There's time to make, and that's what we're doing currently right now. So you will be seeing some more stuff out of the Guides Association for this year, and Guides and Sportsmen's Association, because us fishing guides can't do anything on our own, right? We need our clients, and we need people.
Well, and I could, I applaud you, Phil. I think, not to give you a scapegoat of, I paid my $35 last year and never heard anything after that.
Right. Sure.
But, I've founded Adaptive Excursions. I know what that is. I know what that means when you sign on to that. I have personal experience with that.
Yeah.
And I think people they took your greatest intentions and then had unrealistic expectations of what you and Shane, you both run extremely successful guide businesses. I think people had an unrealistic idea of what it looked like. There's only so many hours in the day. Every day your kids aren't getting any younger. And so, like I said, not to give you a scapegoat or anything, but I think you did the best that you could with the time that you had, and learning something new as well as running a successful business. Not people don't understand how much work that is. Just the rhetoric of, like I said, there's only so many hours in the day. I did it, and I'm here to tell you, it literally is like having 3 full-time jobs, because you go guide, then you go work for your nonprofit, and then you get to answer all the questions for your nonprofit, and it's overwhelming. And so I'm glad that I think you had to have that happen to show yourself that it's not a 2-band show. I mean, it's not, you and Shane had like I said, the greatest intentions, but it's so much bigger than 2 guys. That at least you got it out of the way. You got it out of the way the first year, and you didn't quit. That's what I applaud the most is you didn't look in the mirror and say, you know what? Because we all know what was said. We run the same circles. You could have just threw both fingers up and said, I'm all right, then you do it. And then we'd be worse and then we'd have another transition year of somebody figuring out it's bigger than 2 people.
Right.
And so thank you for
Shane,
grabbing that bull by the horns again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we felt like we needed to, we were talking, Shane and I both were talking to a couple older guides one day. I think we were after Springer fishing, and we talked about it, maybe a few months prior and stuff, but they really got us into it. And they're like, you guys need to do something. I mean, it was probably tough fishing that day. Right. And so we all gathered up and we made a plan. But yes, I'll be honest. I mean, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into.
Right.
And so I'm just, anyone who's cussing me or anything, or Shane, just give us, be patient with us. Be patient. Right. We're still learning. I'm a fishing guide. I didn't sign up to be a politician, but I guess I did, actually, it turns out. So I'm still learning. I'm gonna try my best. I don't want to be the guy who started it and didn't do nothing. So I won't.
Right.
I won't.
Exactly.
Because
how many years did it, you may have already answered it when Stephen asked, but how many years did it stay stagnant? That nobody did anything? I mean, was there a period of time?
I think, yes. Yeah, there was. It was, so when we just started it last year, it was dormant for, I think 12 or 13 years. It was dormant. So,
I mean, that's a good span of nobody rising to the top and grabbing that. And, and so I hope people remember that, it's just, we all have a common goal. How do we get there? How do we get there together? And it's not by putting each other down. A lot of our industry, what I've seen is people want to bring you up to a certain level, almost to where I'm at, just not quite,
Yeah, not everyone gets to fish a lake every day, Todd.
Well, I mean, it's a big, it's a power boat. So sometimes I have to start my main motor and warm it up in the morning. I mean, it's a key turn, so it's not like rowing a boat, but I mean, it's cold.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, I mean, it's the, like I said, I hope people give you that respect of talk to you. No, you don't need to cuss. You don't need to personally attack me. You don't need to threats, because nothing gets done. All you're going to get is crickets, but come with come with an answer. Don't just come to, that's the big, don't just come to complain.
Right. Yeah.
Come to me with a problem, and please have a somewhat of an answer in place for that problem, whether it's right or wrong, just an idea of how I fix this.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Shane, we kind of signed up for this because we care just like everybody else does who fishes, on these rivers. I mean, that's all. So that's all I ask as far as the Guides Association and stuff goes. If anyone, instead of cussing us for not doing anything, I mean, call us and let's talk about it, because we can't get anything done if you're mad at me.
No.
Right. I mean, nothing. We can't. We have to talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking. Right. I'm all ears. I'm a fisherman too, man. I'm a fisherman.
So you said Guides and Sportsmen's Association. Does that mean it's open up to the average guy that loves to fish the Rogue River as well? I mean, can he be a part of this as well and have a voice in things?
Yeah, and that was our goal when we first started it up, because it was just Rogue River Guides Association. But like I mentioned earlier, I mean, just us guides. I mean, me, you, and Steven, we can't get anything done, just us three. So, I mean, how could we not have the sportsmen in there? I mean, that's who I have in front of my boat every day. So we need our clients, we need people. Anybody.
I mean, I was talking with you the other day. I think one of the best analogies is that us as guides, we're basically drug dealers. We were addicted to fishing, and now we're just trying to get everybody addicted to the high that we had, and so we get you in the front of our boat. The more people that we get addicted to fishing, the better off we are, the better off the Northwest is, the better off all of our fisheries are. So how do we do that? How do we get, you are an integral part of that. You get people out to fish and experience what's going on with our fisheries and that excitement of catching a fish, and you get somebody hooked, and now you got an advocate, another voice for you to help fight the fisheries. And hopefully that voice, especially in the political system, the more people you got, the more those people in power are going to pay attention to you. And so you just got to get more people addicted, basically, at the end of the day.
That's what it is. And we need the critters around for that, right? If we just got 20 a day every day, man, it'd be easy to have people lined up all year, right?
You just need more supply, whatever it is, you just need more supply. So you get more fish, you're going to have more fishermen, you're going to have more money flowing into the Northwest. Your business is going to do better. Todd's business is going to do better. Boats, everybody's business is going to do better if there's more supply and more basically drug addicts of that supply.
100%.
I was just talking to a guy today, he called me, about my fishery and how we blow it up. And like you, Phil, I mean, it's stuff that I don't want to listen to, but you have to, right? I mean, we're in the public, and, you have to listen. And I, it was that you're blowing up this fishery. I can't even get a camp spot now. And, and I go back to the same thing is, yes, there's people, but there's a couple wins across the board as well. People are utilizing the resource, and, hopefully with our information, they're utilizing it more educated and more responsibly.
Yeah. And
we're bringing in a lot of money into a really small community that has no other way to feed itself than tourism. And so, those people working in the restaurants up there and in the lodges, you're feeding so many families by recreating up there. And so what do you want it to where nobody's up there and you have it all to yourself? Is that a win? I think you have to discuss what's a win. The shuttle drivers, the boat manufacturers, Edgewater Motel, the shuttle driver, just one guy not rowing anymore. Shoot, that's $1,400 out of his pocket for the season.
Yes.
And that's just one guy. And so, I hope people, they look at the whole thing as a big picture instead of just, oh, I got to fight 2 more boats today. It's because you got to have, like you said, this drift boat sales are, they're steadily going down. Because, and when people stop utilizing that resource, that's when the restrictions are coming. They're going to shut it. That's when they're going to shut them down because the money's not being drawn into those communities.
Yeah. Yeah. Fishing's big for the economy, man. It really is.
Oh, it is huge.
That's our economy in Southern Oregon. And yeah, if we can, help it out a little bit, it's good for everybody. It's good for everybody. So.
I like to say, I mean, if the fish win, we all win. Everybody, it's all intertwined through the Northwest, Washington, yes. Oregon, Idaho, Northern California, all the way down to the SAC. Our fisheries are all tied into what goes on out in the ocean. And, we also have those local lake fisheries, like that Todd takes advantage of, or we had Colby Pearson with the bass fishing last night. And really, I mean, if we get more people into fishing in the Northwest, we're all going to benefit from that. The local, just like you guys were saying, the local restaurants, local motels, we're all going to have more jobs. We're all going to have more money. So why isn't everybody just invested in those fish? You want more money in your pocket? Let's get more fish come back.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's time. It's time to, and that's another thing with me and Shane. I mean, we kind of felt with that guidance coach, it was time because we've done this for 10 years and they're like, hey, some of those older guys, they're like, we got another 10 years maybe, but you guys got another 25,
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can keep those fish coming, man, I mean, everything's better, for sure. But it's just if, like you said, if the fish win, but what is everyone's definition of the fish winning? That's the problem right now. And it goes back to those subgroups, if we could just
that's me catching them. Group,
that's oh yeah. Yeah. I know.
That's me catching them and you not.
There's a few left every time I'm behind you.
Yeah. I know you can tag out behind my boat. It's the guys that hire me. I'm like, I don't even know how I did this. And I literally am such a horrible worker. I had to figure out a way to get people to pay me to screw off.
Yeah.
It's literally the only thing I'm good at is screwing off. And that's what fishing is, right? And
right.
So
absolutely.
But yeah, it's that. I think that's the conversation is what is a win, and it's there's room for fly fishermen. There's room for gear fishermen. There's room for bobber fishermen. And there's room for plug fishermen.
Absolutely.
Get out and utilize the resource as you see fit and be respectful to everybody else. Let's all fish together and stop battling each other over what section of river can we do this in. The jet boat debate got brought up in a conversation I had again today. And it's like the water skiers. And I tell everybody the same thing and enjoy the resource how you see fit. I fish. I love to fish. And so that's how I utilize the resource.
Right.
But if you take rafting out of the upper Rogue in the summer, you're going to decimate companies, families trying to feed themselves, on the jet boats. We all work. Once you launch at Dodge, you're going to spend part of your day in jet boat country and what that means. It's the reality of it,
Yeah.
And so I think there's room to work together, instead of just because, once you start bad mouthing each other, that's just ammunition for the opposition to use against all of you.
Right.
We're all on the same team.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
We are
all on the same team. Absolutely.
So do you guys have a meeting date set up for the guys association? You guys got some time coming up to where you're going to have another meeting to kick off the what we've learned up to this point kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I've been talking to Shane. We're going to try to get another meeting planned and we'll have that post on our website. We're going to try to get that before we both go to Gold Beach.
Right.
So, probably somewhere around late May, June, we're going to try to have at least a date set for another meeting. And then, like I said, be patient with us. Because a lot of that meeting, it has to be ran right and we're learning all that still. And so that's what we're doing here in the next month or two. And then, like I said, the remainder of the year, you should be seeing some more from us. because like I said, we do have some things in mind here to get especially just to get like small victories, man. I mean, we can't go straight to Salem as soon as we get this thing going and try to attack that. We just want small victories. We want people to get involved. But first we have to get the word out, and that's what we're going to do here this year.
Exactly. And I think, again, people need to understand we don't change this season. We're looking to change this 2 and 3 years down the road. It's such a long, lengthy process that, to do anything. I mean, if you want to cut a tree down on the edge of that river, there's a process for that. It's not just go grab your chainsaw, put $20 of gas in it and go cut it down. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely emotions, and it's a very emotional debate, and just got to get rid of the emotions. Hey, let's have a conversation. We don't need to yell, we don't need to cuss.
Yep, you got to be diplomatical for sure,
right,
to get anything done. Absolutely.
So,
but yeah, it's it can be frustrating sometimes for sure, but yeah, I mean, being frustrated and fighting, bickering doesn't do anything. And that's why I am fired up about your guys' club you got going, the Northwest Fishing Club. I think it's perfect, man. Like I said, I mean, one big group, who cares? We can get people together. I mean, strength
really
in numbers.
All we're looking to do is promote the fisheries. I mean, like I was saying, we get more fish back, we get more people into fishing, we all win. So who can we support to make that happen? Who's going to be doing the promoting? Who's going to be working on the politics? Who's going to be working on the habitat restoration? Like, let's all come together. Let's all promote it. Let's work together. We're all allies. We're not the competition here. We just want more people into fishing at the end of the day, because if the fish win, we all win. There's more money flowing into the Northwest, all more money into all of our pockets,
Yep.
Absolutely. For sure. I'm very passionate about it because, I look at my books for the last 4 years, and every year I seem to take less and less kids. I'm not seeing the return of young people in my boat. And I think a lot of it is fishery driven. Parents want to take their kid out to go fish, and I wish sometimes they'd leave it up to the guide, because I'm going to take you bass fishing, I'm going to take you half pounder fishing, I'm going to go take you where something's going to wiggle on the end of that rod about every 4 minutes. I'm not going to take you out for a fish that you're going to get 4 bites that day.
Yeah.
And so I think getting opportunities around that of open it up and showing people just not easy, but give them the education to where it is easy. You put us 3 in a boat. I said it a couple podcasts ago. We have that confidence. We're going to catch fish. The learning curve for us is, you could hop in my boat, go up there on lake trout, and go right to work. We have that luck.
You have any open dates?
Todd himself or the group?
I do. I'll tell you what, if you want to get up there, give me a call. I'll put you on my books. You can have, you bring the wife and kids up. I'll show you a good time.
Beautiful. I love it.
But just keep in mind, I may cash that chip in one day on your boat.
Oh gosh, as long as it's not springers, you're not going to make me paddle all day, are you?
No. Ask Donnie. Well, when you shuttled my truck over to Cougar Lane, 2 years ago, me and my dad went down the Wild and Scenic with Donnie Greaves.
Oh yeah.
I'm fishing.
I think I still owe you some money from that, don't I?
Yeah, pretty sure you do, Phil. And I'll get it. But he's like, Todd. I said, he goes, never mind. And so I'm like, can I have some bait? He goes, no, I'm not wasting bait. He goes, you shouldn't even be fishing, because I just left my season. I just wanted to go escape, go for a boat ride. I didn't care to catch a fish. I thought he was gonna skin me after that brutal 4 days of I just don't care.
Oh yeah. How was that canyon down there? Did you like that?
That's the 3rd time I've been down.
Okay.
I love it. I love it in there. The no cell service. it literally is one of those times where I allow myself to disconnect.
Yes.
Because we try all the time, turn your phone off and it'll ring at 8:00 at night. And even though when I say I'm not going to answer it, I answer it and book the trip. It's, and so that's what I enjoy about that down there. Because I tell everybody the fishing is good, but you're not, believe me when I tell you, you're not going in there for the fishing. It's a lot of fun, but you get the area, it draws your attention away to where literally I couldn't focus on, the first time I rode it. And so I didn't get to see it from that vantage point. I guess it would have been the second time. That was only the second time I've been down. So it was my first time I've not rode to be able to check it out. And dude, it's awesome in there. I mean, it's one of those places I could go be in a boat for 4 days and never touch a rod and be happy. And it's just the Rainy Falls, side drifting that for salmon. I would do that, about every day that I could. But, after that, it's just gorgeous. It's an amazing, I'm jealous, that you got to work as long as you did in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was really, really nice down there. Yeah. I'd recommend that trip to anybody, no matter what crew you're with, just because of how nice it is down there. So nice.
Yeah, you recommend anybody, no matter like what, that's something that they should experience at least once in their life, is that canyon trip?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You gotta go down through the canyon. The canyon made me who I am today too. I mean, I caught more steelhead this year because I fished in the canyon too, just from boat control and just learning hydraulics and stuff like that. I mean, and you earn respect with your peers by boating down through there too. But yes, absolutely, I'd recommend that to anybody. It's so nice down there. It's just there's just not too many places like that left anymore where you can just be out of touch for that long,
right,
on a river. Super cool.
Because you don't do it anymore down there, do you, Phil? Are you still running the canyon?
No, not anymore. Nope.
Right.
No, I did that. I got that lower river permit, the lower river business, and I do that now. Just for me personally, it didn't pencil anymore. It was, like I said, the Alaska and then straight into the canyon. At some point I couldn't turn down the work, but as my business grew, I had to just do my own thing. It was more lucrative for me for that way too. But man, it was fun down there. I'll tell you, I don't take a minute of it back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Resort life.
Oh yeah. And we didn't. The crew I was on, we didn't have to do any camping. We were at the lodges all 3 nights, so it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, but I did have to do dishes almost every year I was there, though. They said it was only gonna be my first year, but they made me do them for like 4. But
well, that's the worst thing that happens.
Really fun trip down there, though. Really fun trip. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So now where you are. What's if they said you can fish one more fishery, and then that's it, where would it be? Where would you go?
One more fishery. I'd have to go with. Trying to think outside the box here. Thinking maybe up there. I was just talking about today with my guys. I'd really like to go try that steelhead fishing up in Alaska on the Sea-Tuck.
Yeah.
But if I could only make one more cast, it'd probably be into that little creek.
Guys, yeah.
That looks fun from the videos I've seen.
It does.
Looks great. So, but I appreciate all the fisheries that I make a living on, man. I mean,
oh yeah.
So lucky Southern Oregon. I mean, I have options. I've got 7 or 8 different rivers where I could chase these fish around. So it's like you said, it breaks up the monotony, and you can, right when you're getting just about sick of the season you're in, something else is going on new. So that's what I love about Southern Oregon, and you can't do that in Alaska. So there's always something to catch here. Something substantial to catch too. So that's what's special about these rivers. I mean, it's a resource that we got to keep, especially with, how many people are moving into this valley, man. You want to talk about something I've seen in the last 10 years? I mean, I moved up here from from really remote Northern California, and Medford was a huge town for me. But I mean, it's even bigger now. I mean,
Right.
quite a bit bigger. So, I mean, with more people, more pressure, more people sucking water out of the river, watering their lawns, and this and that. It's important that we can keep these fisheries going, man, because it's not exactly a truly wild river anymore. So
Right.
For sure.
yeah.
No, that's
All right.
one of the things. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Todd.
Well, that's one of the things of, the more we encroach on the resources, it's a big impact, and we have to manage it a little bit different because of that impact. Nobody likes more regulations, but it's there's a balance. I think everybody can agree there's a balance, and what we want to start is finding that balance. Because once you find that balance, that's when you'll see things really starting to turn. Like I said earlier, individually we're really hard to hear. Collectively, we're really hard to ignore, and we just got to get to that place.
Yes, we do.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So Phil, I mean, we've kept you for almost an hour and a half now. Did you have any questions for us, about what we were doing with Northwest Fishing Club or anything like that?
So I had one more quick question. I just wanted to, so I sat down with you the other day, Steve, but I just wanted anyone who's watching now to know exactly how you guys are setting this club up. And because I've had multiple people call me and ask like, hey, Steven, right? I mean, what's he got going on? So how are you guys setting this thing up, and if I was going to join the club, how could I become a member?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, what we're doing is we're selling an NFT to become a member into the Northwest Fishing Club. So that's going to cost you $500 when we launch. From that $500, 25% of it automatically goes into an enhancement fund, which is so if you're a member and you own one of these NFTs, that enhancement fund you get a control of. So your NFT is a way for you to make a proposal on that enhancement fund money and also your vote on it. So if you want more voting power, you're going to have to buy more NFTs. And then the other 75% is going to the club. And basically what we're doing with the club is trying to promote the fisheries, get people excited about fishing, promote those opportunities, help people that are trying to make a living at fishing, help support them, help support the organizations. So so you got 25% of that $500 is automatically going straight to the fisheries that you have a say on. The other 75% going to support basically promoting and getting people excited about fishing. And so, from that, basically your membership is kind of a subscription. Todd and I are going to be doing a lot of different things. We're going to be working on creating some derbies, fun things throughout the Northwest and in specific areas, kind of switching it up from just your typical kill the big fish derby and trying to get everybody a chance at winning and promoting that catch and release aspect. We want to support our fisheries. We don't want to take away from it. And then there'll be different, I think the best way to describe it is like a subscription service. So it's a lifetime, you pay that $500 for the lifetime of what we're doing with Northwest Fishing Club. You're getting access to everything that we're doing. That's going to be collaborations with the tackle companies, clothing companies for merch. That's going to be working with artists to get you actual digital art, and then those in-person events. And we're just structuring in a way that, if the fisheries win and there's more people coming into fishing, then the Northwest Fishing Club is going to win. We're going to have more money going to the fisheries. We're going to have more money to promote the fishing and create excitement. And so, I mean, that's kind of basically what we're trying to do. That's the gist of the club.
Beautiful. Yeah, and hey, I'm really happy to be a part of the beginning stages here. And if you guys ever need anything else out of me, you just give me a holler. Let me know, man. I like it. I like what we're doing here, and let's keep it going.
For sure.
Sure.
Todd, I don't know if there was anything you wanted to add to that.
No, that's not my. I'm here to just talk fishing, and that's not my. I'm still learning, Phil. I still have to ask Tim what certain words mean in there. in the lingo the new kids is using. They're on the Google, and
Yeah,
it's my brain's full.
I hear you.
I'm learning. I'm learning on that part of it. But yes, and if there's anything that I can help you with the guys, the Sportsmen's Association, you can reach out anytime. That's familiar waters. If you have any questions at all, there's definitely some pitfalls that you want to be mindful of in that arena. So.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll be picking your brain more on it for sure. Because like I said, I need advice. I need, that's how I built my career, is by advice from other people. So, I want to build that guides association like that, and Shane does as well, and all of us, the whole board. We want to get it going. We all care just like you guys do. Everybody cares. We're all fishermen. We want to see our fish here, and we want to hook them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to hook them.
We need to get more drug addicts on our natural drug here. I mean, fishing is probably one of the best drugs anybody could ever be addicted to. I mean, I'm sure it's cost people their relationships, it's caused divorces. But at the end of the day, as long as you get that financial base behind you, you can there's really not any better drug in the world than fishing. So we got a free license to go get kids hooked on this. Let's go do it.
Let's do it.
Exactly. I mean, the worst thing it's going to cost you is money. And then that comes and goes at such an alarming rate anymore. I don't even realize it.
We'll make more tomorrow, Todd, right?
Yeah. Hey, are you looking for a motor? Do you need a new motor for your boat?
Oh boy, probably. Maybe. I mean, geez, like you said, your motor guy is always. I keep my motor guy in business, man. I got the 2-stroke Merc, man, but I love it so much. I'll probably never get rid of it. I'll just put it in the shop every time it breaks.
Yeah. I just repowered. So.
What'd you get?
I got a new Yamaha 150 show.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah, mine are, they're only 7 years old with low hours, but it's either lose a little bit of money and sell them now, or run them to the bitter end and lose a lot of money. And so, I was fortunate enough to come across the motor, and so it's up in Portland getting repowered right now. So
good.
And then, the new electronics, you'll have to definitely, let's get together. We'll have you up there, and you could come see. I mean, it's tough. It's a lot of work. I drive a golf cart to the boat every morning.
He just bought a golf cart, Phil, in case you were wondering.
Right about mid-June, I think I'll be ready for a nice lake trip, Todd.
Dude, I got some days in June.
Beautiful.
So,
perfect. Yeah. Well, I'll keep in touch with you on that.
Yeah, we'll have you up. So, but yeah, again, thank you very much. And like I said, I really applaud you for not throwing in the reins on the guide association through, the commitment is awesome, and being accountable, not hiding behind a bunch of other excuses other than, hey, it was more than what I thought, and we are where we are now. So how do we move forward?
Right.
There's no sense in arguing over what's already happened. It's already happened. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
And so thank you very much. That's awesome. It's a rare thing in this day and age, as we all know, that accountability.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, just little things like this. I hope we can keep having more and more people on. I mean, I could think of a handful of guys I'd love to talk to you guys. I mean, yeah,
hey, if you got any suggestions or referrals, send them our way. I mean, we really just want to talk with anybody. We want to get those experiences. We want to learn from people. We want to get that knowledge out there so that other people can learn from it. So, I mean, I think that's Todd and I's goal, is just to have those conversations with any perspective on the fishing world.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. All one big group.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Phil, we really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. Thank you for taking this time out of your day and from your family. I mean, there's nothing better for people to learn from. So we really appreciate you.
Yes.
And for all you guys tuning in tonight, show Phil some love on Instagram and Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to us. And tomorrow night, we're going to have Todd on talking about trophy lake trout and kokanee fishing in Central Oregon. So be sure to join us for that. We've also got a giveaway going on social media. It's pinned on top of our Facebook and Twitter profiles. And also, if you like to just talk fishing, you want an opportunity to make fishing your life, we got an opportunity for you called the Wall Hangers List. And all of this is in links down in the description in this video. And with that, guys, have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're done. Thank you very much, Phil. That was awesome, man.